Jim Ryan standing by ABC News. All right, situations that people find awkward.
Yeah.
Jim, the question of the day is, an awkward situation, something you find awkward, something that makes you a little uncomfortable. Here's a couple examples.
First, I'll tell you that there's not enough whistling in songs anymore, like that song from Paul Simon.
And did we ever find out who Julio was? Does he really have a friend named Julio?
Yeah. No.
I didn't think so. Pointing out that somebody's tattoo is misspelled. Well, that's not awkward. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
CVS announcing your Viagra prescription is ready over the PA system.
Oh.
It's a little awkward. Yeah.
Awkward.
Pulling up to your bar mitzvah, your kid's bar mitzvah, while cranking Kanye. These are all awkward. So anyway, those are some of the situations you can answer on Facebook.
I had one the other day. You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Went up to eat, had a bunch of folks with me, a bunch of family, new people I haven't met, et cetera, and a 6-year-old boy who is a 6-year-old boy, right? So I went in to pay the tab, and it was expensive, it was $230, something like that for the whole group. The kid saw it, and he go, wow, $230. And he went running over to the group, and he said, it was $230. Awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, at least he didn't run over and go, Jim Ryan's a bad tipper.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
All right, look, we got to talk about something that is urgent and concerning, and that's a new school year and bullying. And we talked at the top of the hour, I guess. Nick is a dad, Nick Gale in the newsroom, dad of a couple young boys, little boys. And my kids are grown, but I've got grandkids now. And I've always had this theory, Jim, that if there's a bully, you find the bully's parents and you beat them up. Is that wrong?
Yes, that's wrong.
Okay, so
right.
what do you, from a news standpoint, better or worse this year?
It's worse. Well, at least according to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, they question. If you could take a representative number of people in America, something like 2,000, a little over, maybe 2,500, you get a really strong representation of America as a whole, and that's how they do surveys. This survey takes into account 130,000 kids who are surveyed. I mean, this is really representative.
Yeah.
Kids ages 9 to 18 this year. So it's current numbers in the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And in fact, bullying, according to these kids, has gone up. 40% right now, 40% of kids say that they've been picked on physically on a school campus. Only 18% say they've been cyberbullied. I thought that would have been higher. These numbers have gone up dramatically in just the last 4 years. 2019, you had 26% of kids being bullied on campuses. It went down a little after that, 25% 2020. Of course, that was the year of the pandemic. Then it shot through the roof. The thinking at this point is that kids, when they were on lockdown, they weren't in classes. They lost some of their negotiation skills or their problem-solving skills, and now they're dealing with it in less peaceful ways, Steve.
So, Jim, when we're going into this new school year, and I would imagine, and we all know this, the in-person bullying, on the playground bullying, but we also have to deal with social media bullying, and that's a whole different ballgame. Do they say anything about educating parents and teachers on how to identify when someone is being bullied?
Well, absolutely, yeah. That's a big part of the thrust here, Jane, is to help parents, teachers, administrators learn what this looks like, learn when a kid who's not saying anything to you might actually be bullied. But at the heart of it, for both cyberbullying and for this kind of in-person bullying on school campuses, is keeping the communication open, letting a kid know that if you're having trouble at school, you're having trouble with some kid, make sure you feel comfortable in coming to me and talking about it. It goes for teachers and for parents because, there's another anecdote. My kid, who's now 25 years old, when he was in junior high school, he was being picked on. He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell us, didn't tell his teachers, and there's a lot of regret over that. So try to keep those lines of communication open. Yeah,
and you do have to react in the right way. When my daughter was being picked on, of course, I lost my S when she wasn't around. But I tried to talk her through it, tried to encourage her to handle it with the school. She was in middle school at that point, and said, of course, we'll be there with you. We've got your back.
Yeah.
And when it didn't end, we had to go to the next level, and, well, those bodies will never be found. No, but the thing is, it's maddening if you're the parent of the kid being bullied. And I've said this all the time, Jim. If you have a bullying situation at school, don't assume that your kid's not the bully. I mean, sit down with your kid and talk with them about what's going on.
Yeah, right, and that's you're right. It's infuriating if you find out that your kid has been picked on at school, and it's just as infuriating if you find out your kid's picking on somebody at school. And handling that kind of discipline, handling that situation, it's
so. What do we do? What do the experts claim we should do?
Well, again, keeping the communication open, kid to adult, teachers, principals, parents as well, and then having mental health services available to these kids. 7 out of 10 kids say that when something important goes wrong, they can't stop worrying about it. 67% say they try to keep anybody from finding out. And you're finding that a lot of healthcare professionals are seeing their waiting rooms filled up with kids who are having mental health crises because of this.
You said at the top that this gigantic survey, less than 20% were talking about cyberbullying. Anybody speculate on why that number's low?
Well, I think that may be up a little from the last few years, but I was surprised.
I thought
really
it would have been half, maybe more.
Me too.
Well, and I think the kids have their phones in school, too, so now you're getting double the bullying.
Yeah, if they're riding at 20%, that means 80% are old school, in your face, horrible kids in the hallway and on the playground or wherever.
I think that number's low.
Yeah, I mean, and from either one of them, the in-person bullying or bullying online, you get a physical punch in the eye, perhaps on the schoolyard, but online the injuries are emotional.
And the emotional injuries don't go away. I mean, you could stop 100 adults on Michigan Avenue today and ask them about bullying. And if they were bullied, they remember. I don't care if they're 75 or 25, and it will stick in their psyche forever. And it's also incredibly damaging.
Bullying doesn't have to be, I got hit, or somebody shot me with a BB gun or whatever, like a rubber band or a spitball. It could be, I'm calling you a name, or I'm changing the way I say your name, and that will stick with you as well. So I think that the parents need to sit with the kids and explain before they start school, and explain what it is and how to be an advocate for other kids who may be being bullied.
I've got an older brother with special needs, and to see what he went through as a kid was really tough. And I got in a couple of physical fights over it. And there's nothing I have a shorter fuse over than bullying.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it just cannot be tolerated. And as a parent, the words that should not come out of your mouth, my kid wouldn't do that. Investigate, look into it, and find out. So, Jim, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Jim Ryan, ABC News.